have the show's thumbnail, but I get it. I know you're doing a better job of promoting my book than I am. Let's see, how many people are watching right now?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, we're live.
Hello,
What
everybody.
You did it again.
is it? Wait a minute, are we in the wrong studio? We are in the wrong studio. We need to be on Saturday. Hold on, there we go. Now we're in the right studio.
Wait,
Whoa.
There we go.
Deep in an underground secret Pacific Island lair, Pop Culture Minefield presents Saturday Morning Funtime. This is the Comic Relief Crusader telling you to get your morning cereal ready, because here we go.
I'm probably gonna have Mike do a whole new one of that because we're not morning anymore. Get your breakfast cereal. Although you can have breakfast cereal any time of the day. I mean, how many times have I sat down in front of the TV in the afternoon or evening with a giant salad bowl full of Captain Crunch? Hello, is anybody here?
Yes.
Yes, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, then
We
fucking
don't respond
respond.
to dad
Jesus
jokes.
Christ.
are we in the right studio now? Am I really here?
I'm
you're
sorry.
here.
I only respond to good jokes.
Is that you, John Wayne? Is this me?
Railway Nation is here. Let's see who else is here. Penny is here, of course. Dragon Ruse is here.
Arika.
Are you having a stroke? What the fuck did you just say?
I have no
Where'd
idea when I
Martin
speak
go?
Martin usually.
Yeah, Martin, are you
I
okay
don't
then?
speak
Are you having a syncopal episode?
He's fixing to revolt.
Well, he is pretty revolting.
Yes,
How
Martin.
dare you?
I tried.
Hey,
I cannot
hey,
talk
hey.
to this
Easy,
woman.
easy there, Greta.
My true name is Inigo Montoya.
Man, that one was a lot of fun.
Okay, so we are talking about Scrooge today. We did a nice little poll,
Allegedly.
and holy shit, this movie kicked the shit out of George C. Scott's Christmas Carol. I expected it to win. I did. I just sort of in my mind was like, it's going to win because I didn't know it would win by that huge a margin.
What was the end result?
I don't know. The last time I checked, just before it ended, it was like 78% for
Wow.
Scrooge.
So it did get some votes then, because when I put in my vote, and it was like a little over a day before it ended, my vote got it up to 80%. So the other one did get some other votes then.
I mean, you put a movie with Bill Murray in a poll.
Well,
Yeah,
Bill
right?
Murray. Bill Murray. Bill Murray.
Jeez, it would be a shame if this channel were in its entirety.
Bill Murray, Carey.
Yeah, to me, it's
Mariah
really funny
Carey,
when
yeah, there
Gerry
you go.
when Gerry makes fun of somebody mispronouncing a name when he's doing it all the fucking time.
Well,
I mean, it's one thing if you have a fucked up name to begin with, but Bill Murray is pretty much a
Fucked up as
standard in
it's
the United
foreign.
States.
Yeah, I get it. It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
The racisms in this
You
channel.
know you can't. You know you can't.
This
pronounce
Christmas
it
card
right.
gives you the right to criticize me.
I'm still in shock that it made it in time, because the lady in the post office was like, I asked if I sent a priority, how long? Yeah, there's no way that arrives before Christmas. And I was like, I know that. It arrived this year. And she was like, I cannot promise that to you. So I was like, okay, as long as it arrives, because last year's got lost. So I'm really pleasantly surprised it made it in time.
right, I'm going to try to see. I'm trying to find the post, and I'm not seeing it. And I've already gone back almost a week. Where the fuck is it? It's disappeared. I had it pinned, but the minute you guys promote the next show, you unpin it, and so I don't know where it's at now. I can't find it.
We got a breach.
Is
Yeah,
it a
but it's
good
a
breach?
lazy one.
Worthwhile breach?
I don't know.
It's a lazy one.
Yeah.
Wait, come
wait.
on, man. What are you doing? Trying to pull a monkey Jeebus here and
Yeah.
just slip in an easy one? Come on.
Wait, try a little harder. Wait, and you get a Christmassy backdoor video. Okay.
Now, if you'd said Scrooged in the back door, that'd have been funny.
Almost, kind of, sort of.
No, that would have been funny. I would have given it for that one. I do not-
Backdoor.
Phrasing.
I am trying to find it.
Oh.
I just cannot find the damned poll.
Oh, yes. I couldn't find it either. That's why I
What?
had to ask you. I don't know, man.
It's in the gentleman's club.
When I do a poll,
Oh.
go ahead and leave them pinned. Go ahead and leave them pinned because I can't find it now.
But
And
we have
you know,
to
I would like to know
show.
what the final tally was because I am positive that Scrooge won because I looked at it like hours before it was over. Don't you echo back at me?
I believe we should
was-
send a new set of electors with an alternate result
Man.
reflecting the real outcome of the poll.
Deleted scene is training an AI
is really-
version of
I found
Gerry.
it. I found it. I found it.
How do you know
Share
I'm
it in
not
the private
AI?
chat, please. This is so annoying.
Hold
I
on,
can't
because
find it.
I'm on my phone.
What does God need with the Scrooge poll?
What does the ghost of future? But what does the ghost of Christmas past need with two orphans under his shirt?
Let's see it right. By the way, Don called me today, and we had a nice long talk. But at one point, he was telling me I should go ahead and complain because I said I don't complain. It's just something I don't do. And he's like, everybody has a right to complain. I said, no, it's not the thing. My thing is I don't like wasting energy because when you complain, you're wasting energy. And I've other things. What I do, and you guys know this better than anybody, I just get really cranky.
You? No.
I get really fucking cranky. And
Martin.
because I don't
Hold on.
complain.
Just a moment. Martina, send it to you on Facebook link. Because I have
Okay.
my phone, and I can't do StreamYard on my phone.
I love modern technology. You still got to do things in 3 steps. I
Yeah,
see
what
that
can I
my
say?
buddy Zach is here. What's
My
up,
desktop
Kyle?
Twitter
Holy shit!
signed me out.
Scrooge won with 80%.
80-20. Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
It's
was
the
a
fear,
landslide.
man.
Yeah.
You, Kyle.
But Gary, also, you're cranky all the time, so
No, I'm not. I get snippy, but there's a world of difference. When I'm cranky, and people go, "You're just an old guy." And I went, "No, I've always been this way. Even when I was young, I would get cranky."
Yeah. Speaking of cranky, here you go.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, he mentioned it
be
earlier. I don't know if you
disappointed.
heard him. He says, the only thing she's got for me is that "fuck you, Shanatsky."
Yeah, that's when I unmuted because I had the can of cat food in my hand. That's when I unmuted and
There
said,
you
what I'm
go.
going to say now is "fuck you, Loki" because he was annoying.
There.
You
Now
see
you get a Scrooged backdoor video.
It's Lee Majors, the $6 million man.
Santa, is there a back way out of this place?
So, by the way, I don't think he says 6 million. I think he says $6 billion man.
No, it says million.
That
That's
sure
what
Sounded like
million.
million to me. I heard million.
Yeah, me too.
Where's the beef?
all right.
Now,
Yeah,
These
number.
things were just cheaper
do
back
you
then.
know
I mean,
how You know how that
he was
show.
created by God from Star Trek V, so he works cheap.
Yeah.
That show was known in Latin America as the Nuclear Man. Go figure.
Makes a little more sense.
By the way, I'm going to do a poll, and next year we're going to do either Fat Man or that really bad movie by the guy that played in the lame Hellboy movie.
No.
And let people pick which one we do.
No, make it Fat Man and Silent Night.
Which one's? Oh,
How
Silent
about
Night.
Violent Night?
I was not very. I didn't like Silent Night.
No, it's not.
I was very
good.
disappointed by the film.
Yeah.
The new
The
one?
trailer sold it as
Yep.
something that it just wasn't. It's just a bunch of wasted opportunities. And
I
characters
understood
are not
that he
characters.
couldn't talk, but
Yeah.
that she wasn't talking made zero sense. It made me wonder if she was dead, if that's why she's not talking. And he's
That
like
would have
imagining
at
her.
least been interesting, but
It didn't
she's
make
just
any
a
sense,
character
her
who's
not
just there
talking.
to worry. And it was stupid. He
I
wasted all
just
these
didn't like that.
characters.
I thought it was.
Keeps them- yeah.
It's like he wrote the first draft and went, "This is very clever," and then didn't set it down with a real writer and go, "Hey, does this make sense?" It's like, no, it doesn't make sense.
No, it's
to
the last
writing.
referred is the new one with Joel Kinnaman.
Eh,
The one-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still enjoyed the killing. The action in it was a lot of fun, and that's all it was
takes
worth
an
to me.
hour until you get to the action.
Yeah, you don't even.
finally.
It took an hour to get to the action. It was like, man.
It
And,
didn't even.
and I said, you know why he's so accurate? Because he's RoboCop.
Wow.
Another one we could do is Invasion USA because it does take place during Christmas.
Yeah, true.
How about
I've
Die
never
Hard
seen
2?
that movie.
Rambo
I've never
First Blood.
wanted to
too.
see it.
Die Hard 2 also takes place in like at least a snowstorm. Christmas be enough. And it's transcendentally related to Commando because they're all going to the same country. Apparently, Valverde is highly unstable.
By the way, a vet buddy of mine, we always wanted to remake Commando and do it correctly,
Oh my
where
god.
everything was actually militarily accurate. But I love that movie Commando. I really do.
Oh, I love
And
it.
improve on perfection. James Horner, his best soundtrack is Wrath of Khan, but that's number 2. Like, I'll listen to that while I'm like working around the apartment.
Well, James Horner steals from himself. So, yeah. He's like Williams does too.
Williams
I've
steals
caught
from
John
himself
Williams
a lot.
in certain moments in films. He'll do segue music, and I'll listen to the cue and I'll go, man, that sounds like Superman, or man, that sounds like Star Wars, or man, that sounds like Raiders.
You know, he and
He
I
does
went to
that.
the same high school.
As John Williams?
Yeah, I was a couple years ahead of him, but yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's from my hometown.
Yeah, but he's
Nice.
older than you.
I know, I'm kidding. Obviously, yeah. John Williams is what, 94? But
He's
I mean,
a billion
I am
and
a high-
six. I've told you a
yeah,
trillion
well-
times. Don't exaggerate.
Let me get my friend Connor McLeod on the phone to tell
got
you
it,
how
I
long
got
you've known me, okay?
My
And
name
my
is
pal
Conan
Ramirez.
McLeod from the Clan McLeod.
He's my cousin.
He's like right back here in the back of the throat every time he says Clan McLeod. Listen to
My
it. Go watch
favorite
that movie.
acting-
He really chokes on those fucking C's.
He has a tough time. Like, what was he? He was born in America, raised in France, and then educated
Belgium.
in England. So
He was
got
raised
a
in Belgium.
Okay, okay. French
and-
speaking
but
Belgium,
where they still speak French.
right? Okay.
and
well, most of it does, yeah.
First movie was Subway with Jean Reno, and directed by Jean Reno's director. What's his name? The Fifth Element. what's his name? I forgot his name.
Luc Besson.
Luc
Besson.
Really? What was it? Subway? Wasn't it
Yes.
Tarzan?
No.
No.
That movie,
No.
the Tarzan movie, has the distinct honor of being the only
Greystoke?
movie to have a woman with a
Yeah.
man's name dubbed over by a woman with a man's name. Andy McDowell had to go. Glenn Close had to go
Her
dubbed
country,
in.
her accent's too thick.
It's
her-
ridiculous.
her
The only
country
person to
accent.
work- Yeah, the
I
only
don't
person
get
to
I
work
freaking
accent
love
is,
that movie.
Oh, I
It's
fell in
like,
love
yeah.
with her. I fell in love with her
the model.
because she was so beautiful, and she just had that look. But I love that movie, Grace. Like, I'm trying to get Emma to watch it with me because I consider it the best Tarzan film made yet.
Yes.
And
For sure.
Rick
That's a
Baker-
horse race. It's really good.
Rick Baker designed the apes for the film, and they're really well designed. The people went and actually studied ape movement to learn how to move like apes, and it was really well done. It's tragic. This is the kind of film that makes you cry. It's not an action film. They explain his acts in a way because the gentleman who finds him is Belgian in the film, even though in real life he's English, but he does a Belgian accent. So that's why Tarzan has a Belgian accent, because he hadn't conquered his accent yet when he did Tarzan. And he also went by Christopher Lambert when he was in Tarzan. It was after Highlander, he changed his name to Christopher Lambert.
Well, I mean, it was all leading up to Mortal Kombat. Has there ever been a better rating? I mean, come on.
I love the Mortal Kombat film. I really do. It's
like
one of
it,
those
yeah.
guilty pleasures for me because I know it's not a great
I'd rather
film,
watch that than
but I do
Highlander
enjoy it.
2.
Oh, what's
The
that other one
sickening.
they did? Was it Wanted Dead or Alive with what's her name? Elvis chick.
Is that the one where they dump him on like a penal colony island?
an
and just,
island.
Like, fend for yourself.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Fortress.
Fortress.
Oh
I
no,
was
that's
like-
Fortress with Christopher Lambert. I'm talking about the other film. Hold on. My name is Earl. I have to go to my name.
Yeah,
I thought it was Gerry.
DOA.
Earl.
DOA.
DOA. Thank you. DOA was the other film I was talking about. I like that movie.
Yeah, so do I.
That-
It's
haven't-
goofy as shit.
I haven't seen
Dadman
it yet.
Walking, how are you doing, my friend? I hope you're having a good weekend.
Hi, Dad.
Jim's Landscape is here too. What's up? Slasher Fred, of
Dadman.
course.
Hi, Jim.
Greetings.
Good to see everybody.
I hope everybody's having a good Christmas weekend.
Okay, I'm bringing up the slideshow.
You know what? I want to say right now, this is a great movie to celebrate the day I was adopted on. So I'm pretty psyched about that. I called Mom up this morning and thanked her again.
That was December 23rd.
I was adopted on this day almost 18 years ago now as a baby.
That's so nice.
Shut up.
Thank you.
That's a
All right, it was a lot. All right, maybe there was a war going on. In
I
a place
already
called
felt like you
Vietnam
were
when I was
throwing a little
born.
bit of bullshit at me, but then you
Yeah.
said 18 years ago, and I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
off.
The 18 had been suspicious too.
When I just remember my earliest memory is seeing Revenge
Who
of the
was
Sith with
this?
my parents.
It-
No,
it
it was a longer time ago than that, but it was on this day. So thanks, Mom and Dad.
I wanted to point out that the beginning of this with the music, because Danny Elfman does the music,
Oh yeah.
that the opening of this scene, it has a little bit of animation in it. If people catches it, there's an elf in a window working and it's animated. And it absolutely feels like a Tim Burton film. And
Or is
they should have
Is that a
said
little gift from
this
the
movie
Simpsons
by
music-
Tim Burton. The Santa Claus
the
movie
mu-
is by Tim Burton.
The music of this intro is almost bit by bit the theme of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. Well, he hadn't really figured out how to score really well yet. Because this is why Seth MacFarlane on Family Guy pokes fun at Danny Elfman from his earlier compositions.
Hey.
Yeah.
Everything was oompa, 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 oompa. It was like, come on,
Yeah.
man, that's a terrible march.
Look who's
Batman
here.
sort of Batman
Hey,
is where it
Stark's
sort of
here.
comes together for him. Hello, Tony.
With the opening
This-
of this movie, it makes sense though. It's.
I think
it's okay.
Scientology has made him a better composer.
Is that
That's
No.
a sad thing to say.
Richard
Oh my
Elfman,
God.
Scientologist.
Hey, you
Just
know what?
wrong.
Scientologists' biggest holiday is Christmas. They're
It's
they're
Christmas,
celebrating
that's
Xenu and
right.
shit, but they do it on Christmas every year to keep the cops off their back or whatever it is they're doing.
I know, it's just fucking ridiculous.
I thought the leader of my religion was weird, but then I heard about David Miscavige.
Oh, I love this scene, by the way. I love this scene because he's getting nervous. He's like the alligator's falling, like, oh, there's an alligator. And Robert Goulet, our most the world's beloved singer, Robert Goulet, and they're like, the world does not beloved Robert Goulet. There's a lot of people out there who fucking hate him.
I
Hey,
thought
Johnsy,
that
what's
was-
up, man?
Hey, buddy, I was so glad I
Curious.
got John, I got your DM. I was so happy to hear about all the good stuff going on. Fingers crossed for continued success in that. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
Oh.
Well, yeah, this is the single best modern adaptation of A Christmas Carol. And it manages to put A Christmas Carol in the film as well. So it's like a movie within a movie. I love that.
Yep. Remember, they have to watch Out of Fear.
I love that they decided Buddy Hackett would be an ideal be an
Yeah,
ideal
like, what the
Scrooge for their
fuck? He's
movie.
the last person in the world that should play Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, like, they leave out the part where Frank Cross drinks as much as Bill Murray. And here we have a Star Trek actress. We missed the part, the cut scene where she's running from the Borg and opens the holodeck and says, "I want to be a 1980s secretary." And she thinks she's getting Working Girl, but she walks into this.
What is that?
Why are we getting an ad?
What's going on?
I know.
I didn't do this.
Vindicated. The story. I want to try out for voice actor on this one. Vindicated.
Can somebody undo it? Oh my God.
There we go.
Jesus. I was in a whole different window.
So Gerry, that's where you ripped off Scrooge. Vindicate instantly should have been Scrooge, and that's where you got the idea.
Yeah. It is, by the way, the book, the story, is my favorite work of fiction by Charles Dickens. And he is my favorite author of all time, Charles Dickens.
Really?
I've read everything by Dickens. Yes, I love him.
Me too, and I agree with Gerry. Hi, John.
What I love about his writing is
John.
often the most common theme in his is forgiveness and redemption. It's a constant theme throughout his writing, and I love that. It's one of my favorite themes to use in a story is either forgiveness or redemption. I love this where he plays this video. It's like,
yeah,
school shootings, you know.
Yeah, so into the future.
Nuclear war.
Or else.
You can't afford to not watch Scrooge. You don't watch it, you may live to regret it. And Bobcat Goldthwait is typical Bobcat in this, but I liked him better because of the haircut. He's not looking like a hippie, but he's still talking like typical Bobcat.
No, a little, but I like he was more.
You can't argue with me. I fucking watched the movie.
He's a much more effective criminal in this.
He's still doing the thing he does in the back of his throat. That is not the way he actually talks.
Yeah, but he does it when he gets nuts with the shotgun and shit.
Yep, and I do like that, the Elmer J. Fudd moment. I got you, Webbit.
Bobcat?
Now that's typically the kind of glasses I wear right there.
Bobcat, if I remember right, he's one of the few comedians Jerry Seinfeld absolutely detests.
He hates him?
Yeah.
Another person that doesn't like him is Jay Leno.
Those are two checks in Bobcat's column as far as I'm concerned.
Jay Leno's the one who banned him from the show because he set the chair on fire.
Mm-hmm. I think that David Letterman was always funnier and more deserving, and that chair needed to burn, all right?
I can't stand David Letterman.
I don't like David Letterman. I think he's a dick.
Letterman now is a dick, but when he was on his show, I thought that he was more measured, and he was funny. And we didn't know a lot of these things back then. He's been off the air how long now? These new David Letterman shows and these new Jon Stewart shows are not helping either of them.
No.
Oh, no, we don't have to worry because they solved the problem with Jon Stewart. They canceled it.
You know,
they
appreciate what he did. I lost some friends on 9/11, so I appreciate what he did. My cousin was a fireman. He was a first responder. So I appreciate Jon Stewart for that. I don't want to beat up on him too much. And it's not like he's Patrick Stewart, so I don't have a lot of anger towards him.
Oh, by the way, because we mentioned Lambert before, if you want to see Dennis Leary kill Patrick Stewart, Gunman.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked for that movie like crazy for years, and I couldn't get it.
By the way, I want to amend something I said. I said that he dies on screen 4 times, but I'm willing to go with what was said here. The laser beam only starts bisecting his head in Days of Future Past, so I'm willing to call it 3.9 on-screen deaths for Patrick Stewart as Professor X. But here's our pal from Star Trek Generations, the most confusing movie ever made.
Hey, Jedi Bill. Good to see you.
Hello.
She was in First Contact.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. First Contact, which didn't happen. That's a dream in a Nexus. This proves it.
Oh my God.
But I will tell you that it is in the same universe as Enterprise.
First Contact. You know what? I have a workaround for
it's
that.
been
that makes
explained
sense.
to me that is the reason why certain Trek exists and why Enterprise doesn't exist in other versions of Trek, because they show all the different Enterprises on the in the what do you call it, the meeting room,
In the captain's the conference room. Sorry,
conference
Ready room.
Ready room. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Ready room. And it is not on that
Man,
wall.
that is a rationalization of
yeah,
bad writing.
he's got a much bigger ready room in that movie, and I would say just there's this whole thing about that First Contact timeline. If you want to take all those Next Generation movies and say that they never get past the Nexus because Whoopi says you cannot leave, and if you try to, you will only think you leave. If you want to write off the rest of Star Trek after that, you're cool. You're cool with me.
I think that's a good potential, but to respond to Martin, that's both Keith and I that agree on that. So you can go eat poop. I don't care what you think on that.
You know what the thing is?
It is not on that wall in the ready room because it doesn't exist in the same universe.
It doesn't
Because
exist
the show wasn't made by the time.
No, it doesn't matter.
Not only that, though, when we see
It still
Picard's version, there was a battle of First Contact. It just didn't happen anything like the movie. That movie's a Nexus dream. I mean, the very fact that Mr. Hawk could turn into a Borg underneath his spacesuit proves that movie didn't happen. It was just a dream. Temporal wake, too convenient. It was just too dumb. I'm sorry. The movie is not
writing. Nothing else but writing.
But I think the bad writing from Generations slams the door so hard. When that movie came out before the internet, people already had that theory. I didn't make up the Nexus theory. People hated that movie and people hated the story because
they hated the fact they killed Kirk too.
But yeah, I guess. But I mean, the story also is very insultingly dumb.
Here's the thing about it. It's like if you can go back to Antonio, it's like I don't know. Maybe Kirk should go back to before he quote unquote died, or I don't know. Why not
just rewind time by going around the sun like they do in like several other Star Trek shows and movies? Nope. We have to have like a multiverse thing here. And then he asks Whoopi, how do you get into the Nexus? And she says, well, you can't get here in a ship after we saw her get there in a ship. And he's like, so you can't leave. He's like, nope, you can't leave. No, except that I left. The whole thing is just a wreck.
Yep. Or I don't know, why wouldn't you go back to when Sarn was on your ship and place him under arrest? You know, that's the problem with you can go anywhere anytime. So I could just go back when we had him on the ship and arrest him and stop all this death and destruction.
One of the things I hate the most about First Contact is it can't exist with Enterprise, but at the same time it can if you just deem it to be a dream, because we see both Borg cube and the Borg sphere vaporized. We don't see a part fly down away and crash on the planet, so it didn't happen that way. So that episode of Enterprise is just proof of Borg contact, nothing else.
Only the episode where they do the mirror universe in Enterprise, they decide to show that scene from First Contact, and then
No, I'm talking about the one where they find the Borg on the North Pole, and they're like, "Oh, this must be from the ship that attacked when Zephyr Cochrane was trying to do his warp experiments."
Yeah, it's all pretty bad.
Okay, I want to get back to the film. Here.
Movie.
God damn it! Who unpaused it?
I did it.
I'm backing it up now.
I'm with John Spolar on this one.
I paused it for a freaking reason.
Yeah,
to a regularly scheduled movie review. Sorry, you got Star Trek on the mind.
So everybody just wait a second while we get back to that moment.
Yes.
I believe this was the moment that derailed the conversation at the First Contact.
Oh my God.
She has an Academy Award for another movie, right?
Alfie Woodard.
Is it Miss Edwards' voice?
She's a very good actor.
No, Miss Evers Boys was an HBO movie.
Oh, okay. I know she has some. She has a few. She has a
All
little bit
right.
of hardware.
Again, I'm pausing it here. This is Joel Murray, his baby brother.
Mhm.
This is a family venture in that all of his brothers are in this movie. And the only one who plays his brother is Joel. But at Joel's and his wife's birthday, by the way, the actress that plays his wife in this played Nina in Just Shoot Me.
Mhm.
The guy sitting across from him is his older brother, middle brother, one of the Murrays, and best known
Brian
for
Doyle
playing.
Murray.
Yeah, Brian Doyle. No, the other brother.
No, there's
And
a
then-
few.
And then his dad, Bill Murray's dad, is played by Brian Doyle Murray in this movie. So you have
Okay.
all four of the Murray brothers in this movie.
And this Murray brother's only the younger brother. He's only in like one other movie, right? Like maybe is he in like Meatballs?
Moving
2 or-
Violations. He's been in other stuff
Moving
too.
Violation.
But
That's the
Moving
one I remember.
Violations was one of his star ventures that he got to do, where they have to go take a special class in order to get their
Yeah, that
license
movie
back.
cracks me up.
I think it's hilarious too.
Isn't
Fucking
Dan
it's
funny
great.
Castellaneta in
movie.
it, too?
Yeah.
Like there's some strange cast members in that.
Yeah, but it's still funny.
It is. And it's just one of those forgotten 80s gems. This moment is huge because that's Dave Sanborn, Paul Schaefer, and the great jazz trumpetist. I forgot his name, black guy.
Dizzy Gillespie.
Is it? No, not Dizzy.
No, it's not Gillespie.
Louis
I looked at this a
Armstrong.
minute ago. I'll tell
Louis
you.
Armstrong.
Louis
was
was
already
dead
dead.
by that time.
72.
Hold on. Musicians in
I'm almost there.
Scrooged. Miles Davis.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't remember him being in Scrooged.
Wait,
He's right
that's
here in
not
this.
the name I found, but I believe
He's in the scene where he walks by mocking the band. He goes, "Is this your first time playing together for guys?" And it's got like
yeah,
Dave
here-
Sanborn,
someone named Larry Carlton.
yeah, Larry Carlton, Dave Sanborn. You should know because he's did the music with Michael Kamen and a couple other musicians for the Lethal Weapon films.
Yeah.
Looks like
I'd
at least
now that you
Carlton's
tell
a
me the scene.
professional actor.
Now that you tell me the scene, I remember it, but I'd completely forgotten that Miles Davis was had a cameo here.
Yeah, Miles is
Totally
in there.
forgot that.
Fucking Paul Schaefer. And Schaefer's a much better musician than he gets credit for. He's a very good musician.
Yeah, he was the first musical director of SNL, wasn't he?
That's right. He also, because he was on SNL, he played Don Kirshner. Don Kirshner's rock concert. And he did Don Kirshner perfectly. It was really funny.
And of
Poor
course, his
Bobcat. He
classic,
can't get a drink.
his classic hit, "It's Raining Men" by Paul Schaefer.
Yep. Yeah, nothing matters to him. That's the thing about this character. Just winning and succeeding and making money. And, I got to tell you, did such a great job with this film. And the director of the film, of course, known for his political statements, but not so much in the foreground. He always put them in the background. Did it through the Lethal Weapon films, and he did it in this movie. The only time you see his political posters are in the what is that room called? I said it earlier, Anima. Where the control room. Whenever you cut away to the control room, you'll see posters on the wall in the background, and all of them are political.
Yeah.
Richard Donner's filmography is beyond impressive.
Oh yeah,
Beyond.
he basically secretly directed 2 of the X-Men films. You
Did
didn't
he?
get
I
credit
can
for
believe it. I could absolutely believe it.
He didn't direct the whole film. He just directed a bulk of it for his wife.
You're talking about the X-Men movies with our favorite pal Patrick Stewart?
Yes. Because Sheila Donner, his wife, she was the executive producer on them.
Wow.
I love this. That's Charlie from Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
John Forsythe.
John Forsythe. Yeah.
He's unloading on him when he starts drinking. It starts like a Bugs Bunny cartoon starts coming out of the holes.
Yeah. I don't mind you hitting me, Frank, but take it easy on the brandy.
Oh, Bacardi.
Yeah, and then he drinks and it comes out of all the
There it
holes
is.
in him.
Yeah.
I love that effect.
Yeah, when
Lord.
the mouse, when he turns and the mouse like is moving in and
Yeah.
out of his skull,
Ooh,
he almost
the
loses
mouse, yeah.
consciousness. It's just-
They must have had so much fun doing these effects back then.
yeah,
Isn't it-
a lot of it is practical effects. My favorite visual effect in here is when he takes him by the throat and holds him outside the window and going through the window.
Mm.
Oh man, it was really well done.
With the arm, oh yeah. That was great.
Oh, the practical effects on that when he's tearing the arm apart
Yeah.
and he falls.
I love stuff like that. We need to get back to practical effects. It's way too much CGI. It's the lazy route to go, not the good one.
And you know what? When you look at Bill Murray, I never noticed how blue his eyes were until this movie.
Is this the movie where he analogizes himself to Richard Burton because of the terrible skin?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the terrible skin, and because he kind of does resemble him, the high forehead, all that shit, and then he does a really good Richard Burton impression.
He does, actually.
And I like it when he
It
fake
does-
drinks whatever it is they're drinking. He puts it up to his mouth and then
Yeah.
he just pours it, pretending to take a drink. That shit's funny. Bill Murray this is one of his best films.
You would never guess this was the same guy if you put a picture of him from 2023 next to that either.
Yeah.
No,
It looks like he
didn't age
shrank.
well.
It looks like he shrank like 7 or 8 inches shorter. I don't know how he pulled that off.
Yeah, there's
Well, I
the
know how
arm.
he pulled it off.
Here goes the arm, yeah. Here goes the arm.
Starts pulling the arm apart, trying to grab it. Phantom Outsider, welcome.
And he says something again. Beware of Russian vodka,
Okay.
poison Bachanov.
He's fallen, and then suddenly he's on the floor. This is awful again.
Apologies for Rocket Kitty. She's just been fed. She should be asleep.
Yeah, some of the
Yes,
lines in this movie, the throwaway lines, like, the vodka was poisoned by Chernobyl. That was a great line.
Well, he tries to blame everything weird that's happening to him to his drinking until he can't anymore because shit's fucking real.
And by the way, Slasher Fred, John Houseman, of course, he's been in some really good films. The Fog, you brought that one up. Is he not also in the movie Ghost Story?
Yes.
He is in that.
He
Yeah,
is.
I love that movie. That's got one of the scariest ghost scenes ever when she suddenly appears out of the water. You know, it's like, fuck, that makeup in that. Oh,
Is he British or he just have the old money New York accent like FDR or George Plimpton?
it's hard to tell because you get that New England out accent.
Yeah,
but
it's like the old money Northeast accent.
but he was born in Britain.
Oh, okay.
Another actor born in Britain, a lot of people don't know it. He's Welsh, actually, is I just forgot his name. He was in The Thing. What was his name?
Punky Brewster's dad?
No, I
Brewster's
don't know.
uncle-
I didn't
Uncle
watch
Henry?
Punky Brewster. Donald
Uncle
Moffat.
Henry gets a really
Oh, yeah.
good
Donald
Yeah.
Moffat played Gerry in The Thing, and he's actually from Wales, but he's been playing Americans until his death.
Mhm.
He has an interesting
I believe it.
accent.
It's there. Yeah, it's there.
And there's the psychotherapist from the Lethal Weapon films.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, is it the same shrink?
Yes.
They're all Richard Donner movies. Why not?
Richard Donner liked using a lot of the same actors. His cousin is the director of the TV show that's sitting up in the booth. He's the director of the booth.
Right.
That guy there with the racing cap in the middle there, not the guy with the white hat, but the other hat. Another regular of Richard Donner's.
I can totally get around doing that because it's hard to get a good working relationship going. So if you find someone you work really well with,
Karen Allen.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw her in this movie. You know, like I went. To see this
I
movie
was
just to
crushing
see
on
the
her
movie.
back in the 70s when she was in Animal House.
Well, that's when I knew bad stuff was going to happen.
Raiders for me.
Bill Murray. I'm like, you're messing with Indy's girlfriend, man. She's got the headpiece of the staff around. She can drink you under the freaking table. And if you make her angry, her boyfriend's going to come whip you, literally.
when you mess with Indy's girl, you must whip it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my
Oh, and there's
God.
Mimi Bobek from Drew Carey Show.
There's a lot of
that's okay. So that's what she looks like when she's not
Made
using
up like
Homer's makeup shotgun.
a baboon.
yeah.
Oh,
I was so sure that character was supposed to represent a drag queen. It was just a drag queen that was a woman.
There is a story arc with the lady that gets hurt. I love the story arc with her. By the way, what's up, emotional and stable amphibian? What is up on this weekend? I hope you're having a good holiday.
You mean the lady who's after the nipples all the time? Yeah, she gets just more and more fucked up. It's so funny.
Yeah, she has a little story arc of her own.
Oh yeah,
And she-
that ends surprisingly.
Oh yeah. How about stapling it to its head? I mean, like, don't you dare. He's like, lady, I
Yes,
wouldn't
let's-
harm an animal. Wouldn't do anything in the world to hurt this little fella. And she's like, so like, don't you dare.
How dare you?
It's like
Still
when
trying
you
to save the
saw
world.
when you saw what kind of girlfriend someone like Ross could pull off in this movie, it's like maybe I should stop being nice to people.
I think this movie is why I became a dick. I was not quite as dickish until this movie. And I went, all right, I'm just going to let Gerry loose. Fuck it. Stop holding back.
It's
I
been
was a little
determined that
meaner
you
to
were
my-
born a dick.
It literally is your last name, Gerry. so-
Middle name. Yeah.
Middle.
Yeah, middle.
Let's just say I was a little less nice to my date leaving this movie than I was going in. It's like you could open the door yourself.
It was after seeing this movie that I delivered one of the most devastating lines to a blind date. I went on a date with this girl. She was a goth, but we didn't call them goths back then. I didn't know what they were called. It was like back
Emo,
in the 80s.
probably.
No, it wasn't emo. There was a different name for 'em.
Shoegazers. We called them
Theater
shoegazers.
freaks was what we called them in high school. I don't know what they called themselves. And I'm sitting there. She would talk, and I was carrying all the conversation. And then finally, I just decided I'm going to stop this right now. And I said, so enough about me. What's it like being dead?
Oh my god. Way to end the
The
date.
date ended
How could you
abruptly.
enjoy that? I could see Wednesday Adams really enjoying that question and giving a great answer, but
Yeah, I
unfortunately,
know.
She's
This girl did
Wednesday.
not like it. She took it as offensive, and she was, well, I'm just going to go. And I went, okay.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll cover the tip too.
Yeah, Wednesday would be like, I'm not yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Probably something like that. Or she would be
I
like,
love that.
What do you
I
know
love
about
this.
that?
Part. Gregory, Gregory. Robert Mitchum
Bob
is so
Mitchum.
good in this film.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that's fucking Robert Mitchum, man.
Yeah.
Now here's an
Yeah, I didn't
interesting
realize he
thing
could be so
about this
funny.
actor is that he has eidetic memory, and he only needs to read a script one time, and he knows everybody's lines, including his own.
that's the gift
That-
that every actor wishes they had.
Yeah.
Doesn't Mary Lou Henner have the same disorder?
Yes, she has one I considered worse because there are varying degrees of it.
She can't
Hers,
forget any
she can
detail of
remember
her
all
life
the
at
way
all,
back.
right?
Like time of day, what the weather
Weather.
was like, shit like that. Just details all the way back to almost birth with her.
And former President Clinton can do the same thing. He's got the same disorder.
That sounds disturbing.
That
He
explains
said
why
all of
lying.
them said it was. All of them said it was torture. Every single one who was asked about it said it was torture, and she was like, "There's some things I'd just like to forget, and I can't." It's like it's probably not normal or good for people.
Well, there was
can
a guy that had perfect recollection. I think he ended up killing himself, if I'm right, because he just couldn't stand it.
I have eidetic memory, but it's different because, like I said, everybody has different versions of it. It's like when I remember information that I read, I actually remember where it was on the page when I read it. What
Someone
paragraph
like
it was. It's weird. It's all visual with me. Okay, this is why I wanted to pause here. That is, of course, John Glover.
Yep.
Best known for playing Lionel Luthor and a version of Trump in Gremlins 2. This guy is favorite actors of all time right here.
He's extremely
epic
underrated.
No, Dr. Cox. Don't forget Scrubs.
What about him?
He's epic in Gremlins too. Is he in Scrubs as well?
No.
Wasn't he Dr. Cox?
No.
Isn't that John C.
That's
McGinley?
John C. McGinley.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
And also, Michael J. Pollard is in this. And Michael J. Pollard has the distinction of being the person for whom Michael J. Fox named himself after.
That's weird because isn't Michael J. Fox's wife's name Tracy Pollard?
Yes.
Pollen. No.
Oh, is it Pollen? I thought it was Pollard. No, you're right. It is Pollen. Yeah, you're right. Close enough, though.
Yeah.
I love the looks that they're giving Bill Murray because he's losing his fucking mind. He looks like he's really losing it here. I love this scene.
And if you know a little about Bob Mitchum's personal life, like there was a tragedy, but I think the one thing that was like he wouldn't back down from was, yeah, I smoked pot and I don't care who knows, in like 1948 or something.
Yeah, he got busted for it.
Yeah. Well,
otherwise, nobody would have ever known.
There. And then every
the two
time
big movie actors who did experimental stuff was Mitchum with weed and Cary Grant with LSD.
Didn't Peck do LSD as well, I think?
I don't know about Peck. All I know is Cary Grant. Cary Grant was being given it by a licensed therapist. I should say
I'm imagining Tony Curtis handing
psychiatrist.
I'm seeing Tony Curtis just handing it to him. It's like, try this, you'll love it, man.
Yeah, no, he never did it on his own. He took it in clinical settings, and in order to regress and go back and deal with childhood trauma. And that's why Cary Grant. And
my God, 6. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Merry Christmas to you, 6.
Merry Christmas.
She had to put some poop in there. You know, that one's for me. Everything else is for you guys. The poop is for me.
The poop is for your back door.
From my back door? West Kegel is here.
Hey, West.
Don't forget to do your Kegel exercises.
Wait. We need something for
the Admiral Teague crowd is starting to stumble in. It's good to see you all, guys.
Okay, this one is for 6.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
I'm the best death.
Awesome.
Did anyone else kind of realize that during Flags of Our Fathers that Truman was Sully?
Oh.
I'm watching the movie and like Truman's like talking, he's being a little bit weird, like Truman would be, and you're like, there's something about this actor. And like we've seen him in a million things since. So it's like, oh my God, it's David E. Kelly. Or David Patrick Kelly.
David Patrick Kelly. Yeah. What I remember him more for was from Beverly Hills Cop, or not Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours. Because he was the guy that Eddie Murphy hits with the car door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, man. That looked like it hurt.
It's real painful. You slammed into it.
You know, just for one quick thing back to Commando. Even someone like Sully and Enriquez both have personality traits. When when Arnie turns around and says, "You know something, Sully? You're a nice guy. I like you." Sully starts to smile. He's like all happy. He's like, "That's why I'm going to kill you last." And you can tell it hurts Sully's feelings.
Like, what? I was
He's
being
such a
nice.
simpleton. It's like,
I
I
was just
kidnapped your kid.
saying
You're
that
mad
we're
at
gonna have
me?
fun with your kid. Gonna take her to Disney World. You're gonna kill me. So
It would be a shame if that kid grew up to be a radical feminist who no one could stand, wouldn't it? Then it was all
Right.
for nothing.
yeah, Wes Cagle. By the
Yeah.
way, what happened to Sully? I let him go. It's one of my favorite moments in that film. The one-liners in there are so funny. The dumbest one that I still chuckle at is when what's his name? I just forgot his name. The black guy. He was in Predator with him too.
Enriquez. Bill Duke.
Duke,
Hey, Green
Duke.
Berets.
He says, I was a Green Beret. I ate Green Berets for breakfast. And I remember thinking, that is the gayest thing I've ever heard.
I just like that Sully's car heals itself. It crashes itself. He crashes it like twice and flips it. And then like Schwarzenegger walks over and flips it over. The mirror's back on. There's no damage when he drives away. It's like he's got a like sister car to Christine.
Same thing with the float plane. The float plane gets all shoot out, and when they arrive to the island, it's all sparkling new.
Also, don't forget the fact that the destruction of her car when they hit the telephone pole. She was not restrained, and there was no car seat in the car. She was sitting on the floorboard. And immediately after it slams into the pole, cuts to him holding her going, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
no, she's fucking spaghetti.
dead. Nobody survives that fucking accident without a safety belt on.
It was right on chunk. She's like, my dad does this a couple of times a week. I'm used to it. I'm limber. I bounce around the inside of a car, no problem.
It is one of the best versions of the Christmas Carol, Joe. By the way, Joe's in the chat right now, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Joe. Hello,
Anti-New
Joe.
York Jets propagandist
Hello,
Joe's
Joe.
atmosphere, who tomorrow will torment us all with a prediction of a Jet loss, which we know just won't happen. Or he's probably safely right on that one, actually.
Oh, here we go.
I've called the commander.
The best ghost in the movie. Oh, you already called it, John?
You think the Commanders will beat the Jets?
Yep.
Both teams are terrible. It's going to be a race to the bottom, but I think the Jets can have more penalties and throw more interceptions.
It's the.
I love this.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in the film. The guy that plays this part is David Johansen, but he's best known for being a singer. Do you guys remember what he went by?
Could it be
Buster
Buster Poindexter?
Yeah, Dexter Poindexter. I introduced Anima to his music the other day. I said, man, I love this guy. He was doing old school music in the 90s. But he went out from doing this film to doing Tales from the Crypt movie. He plays a hitman, as I recall, wasn't it?
He's in a lot of 90s. He's in Free Jack with Mick Jagger.
Or Tales from the Dark Side. Is that what you said? I asked you what you said, and you didn't repeat yourself. And then I went, "Oh, you said Tales from the Dark Side." You were correcting me. Yeah, Tales from the Dark Side. It's really good. It was the whole cat episode, the cat segment. That was great, man. I like David O. Johansen, but he just sort of disappeared after the 90s, man. But he is so good as this ghost of Christmas Past.
He's the best.
You know his early
ghosts.
career, right? You know
What?
Johansen's early career, right?
I only know the music in this.
Outside of Buster Poindexter, he's also David Johansen, lead singer of the New York Dolls.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's one of the 50 most influential musicians from New York. He hangs out with Deborah Harry. I don't mean hangs out. I mean like he's friends with her, and other luminaries like that. And he was called the poor man's Mick Jagger, which is funny because you see him and Mick Jagger together in Free Jack. Strange.
And they're both very ugly men.
And really good entertainers.
Ugly men. But here he is as a ghost, and it's so funny. Even when you look at his identification card, it says "Ghost of Christmas Past" on his ID. I fucking love his character. He's the most outlandish too. He's just over the top acting in this movie.
He's being Buster.
Yeah,
he's just the best of the ghosts because I did not really like the second ghost.
I do because that's Carol Kane.
Yeah, but she keeps whacking him, and it made me so uncomfortable watching that.
Yeah, but it led to one of the greatest lines and most memorable lines in the movie. bitch hit me with a toaster.
Yeah. And still.
But I just like his character in this.
Star Trek.
Yeah, Tales from the Dark Side. Buster plays, David Johansen plays a hitman in that mansion, and there's a cat, and it ends up crawling down its throat, and that scene was a crazy wackadoodle scene when it crawls down his throat.
Is that the movie where the scenes are tied together with a central story with Deborah Harry?
Yeah, she's a witch that's going to cook a boy, and the boy is telling her stories.
And she's
To
still
distract
pretty
her.
hot back then.
Oh my God, she was so
pretty
hot.
damn hot. Yeah.
That's why you watch Videodrome.
Yeah,
She's really hot
Videodrome.
in that.
The only reason she's in that movie is because of how fucking hot she is.
Yeah,
She
can't
has.
listen. I love
She has
her,
the
but
come hither eyes.
the
and
only movie
she's
her
got
acting
pouty
is
lips.
appropriate. The only thing her acting is appropriate for is probably the original version of Hairspray. She's perfect as that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing she's suited for.
By the way, that is a great scene when they're watching. Why is it paused? Because it should be playing. It's been on here for a long time. There we go. That's weird.
You finally got some booze. Thank God.
When he's watching the TV show with young Bill Murray, and he yells out, "It's a bone, you lucky dog!" It's crazy. This movie is so goofy, over the top, and it's just so beloved for that reason. Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU. Welcome to the show. I don't know if that's your name or just a statement you live by. I don't know if that's your name or a statement you live by. Either one's okay with me. Phantom Outsider says, also when they see their mother's Niagara Falls, Attila the Hun Niagara Falls. I don't remember that. What's this?
Yeah, when Bill says that seeing his mother is not going to move him, and said, "Oh, Attila."
Oh yeah, okay. Now I get it. Yeah, the crying.
Yeah, Attila the Hun said the same thing until he saw her. Man, I'm having serious problem with my internet. I can't even see the show, either on YouTube or Rumble.
Yeah, and you're just a little bit of as you would say, rowboating.
Yeah.
Not to me, he isn't.
I don't hear him.
You're rowboating a little bit too, baby.
I think it must be
maybe
you.
it's on your end.
No, you guys aren't. Only Anima and Martin are.
I couldn't hear either one of them rowboating.
I can hear nobody rowboating.
Everybody's 5x5 in my headphones.
Row,
Please,
row your stream gently down the stream.
The fuck?
Oh, welcome to the Department of Redundancy Department.
Yep. No redundancies.
He almost looks like an ape. David Johansen. And by the way, I like the movie Free Jack. You brought that up.
Oh, I do too.
I'm very fond of that film. It is the other Dan O'Bannon, Ron Shusett film after they did Total Recall.
It's much closer to being what we would get in a Philip K. Dick novel than we get in any Philip K. Dick movie.
Dan O'Bannon and Ron Shusett were big fans of Philip K. Dick. They're the reasons I became a fan. I actually was friends with Ron Shusett back in the 80s. I got to meet him and shit because of working for Ron Miller, the artist for Dune. And we just started talking on the phone every once in a while. He'd tell me stories. My favorite story was when Dan O'Bannon and his wife separated. She kept the house, so he needed a place to go, and so Ron Shusett and his wife let him live in the basement. And his wife would get freaked out because she'd do the dishes every night before bed. She'd come back and there'd be like a sink full of dirty dishes because he'd be up all night working, writing.
Man.
And they called him the troll. Dan O'Bannon was called the basement troll.
I mean, he's at the nexus for probably most, if not all, my favorite sci-fi.
I like both of them because Ron Shusett did one of my favorite horror films, Dead and Buried.
Yeah, that's what I'm going. Like, Blade Runner is inspired by the comic that he wrote with Mobius. And then, he wrote Alien, so.
Although, if you look at Alien, the way the movie, David Giler is more responsible than anybody for that movie, looking and having the feel that it does, because he really reworked that script. Because what Shusett and O'Bannon did was they just did it from outer space when they were on that ship, and along with space vampires, and they took the inspiration from those two movies and put them into this thing. And the one thing that they did have in there that we see later in Prometheus was the planet with the giant sphinx, because that was from the original draft of the script that O'Bannon and Shusett wrote. And it's interesting, it really doesn't give them credit for that.
Of course
By the
not.
way, it's the time of the show.
Oh, are we at an hour? All right, go for it.
Yeah. So here we go.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
We could almost take that and turn it into a short video, because it's just over a minute long. So anyway, the graphic novel is it's sort of, we started it during the Christmas holiday, and so it's stalled right now, and it'll pick back up around the 4th. And so I'm going to be doing some more media to help fund it. Richard and I had a meeting today. Richard Bonk is going to be drawing the chapter. He'll be getting his script this week. I'll be done editing it. And when I say editing it, I had to rewrite the entire script, because the guy who wrote the script, he did some things in there I didn't like with the character, and I'm changing it. I'm like, it's 33 fucking pages long, and it only needs to be 18. And I'm like, why? I don't know what it is with writers when I work with them. It's not like Chuck Dixon, because I've worked with Chuck. I've worked with Mike Barron, and they love my writing too. And I so deeply appreciate the kind things they say about my book. But the fact is so many writers out there don't know what they're doing when they're writing, and it frustrates me, because I give them a highly detailed synopsis outline that includes a lot of dialogue. I put a lot of the dialogue in, and then I'll get the script back, and they don't have any of the dialogue I wrote, and they brought in new characters I didn't create. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, Gary, you see, the problem is a lot of people want to put their stamp on something.
And that's not what you were hired to do. They got paid for that job. And,
I know.
And it just irritated me. So I'm having to go back, and in doing so, I had to reread the script. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate everything about the script. So I'm throwing stuff out. It will be 33 pages when it started. It'll be 18 when it's done. I completely altered it back to what my original story was. And in the end, when I had to rewrite a lot of the script, I had to go back to my original outline, because the writers had changed things so much that I didn't recognize it anymore. And so I had to throw everything out that they did. I'm still going to give them credit, because they did the work. They got paid for it. But the fact is there's hardly anything in the graphic novel that was by the writers. It's almost all me. And and I try to put in as much heart as possible in these characters, because I really truly believe that you have to give a shit about the characters. I cannot stand it when you get movies or comics with characters you just don't care about. And so Vindicated is going to be chock full of that kind of stuff. By the way, Edwardson, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good holiday weekend.
Yeah, well, characters are going to be central to the next thing we're doing after Vindicated. So,
yeah. So, all right. I'm done talking comics. Let's get back to the movie. His hair here. It's almost like the hair he had during Saturday Night Live.
So somehow he became more 80s in the actual 80s.
Because if you go back and look at some of the old SNL skits, man, that's his hair. It's all kind of wild looking.
He had premature balding.
Yeah, he was balding back when he was young. But he's one of those guys that I just don't think cared. Guys like Sean Connery and William Shatner, they wore toupees. I don't think he gave two shits. Sting either. Sting just his hair kept receding.
Right. Bill Murray's in a safe space for like having funny hair. It increases his comic delivery, right? If his hair starts looking weirder and weirder, it's better for Bill Murray. At this point, with this insane hair, I don't know exactly who he's supposed to be styled on, but he's definitely, living in New York. I've seen these kinds of guys. All business, absolutely no personal life whatsoever, kind of really self-centered, and it works good in this movie.
Well, and for Bill Murray, weird hair matches with funny face, because the facial expressions he can do, Jesus, he doesn't need dialogue to express himself. It's just amazing.
He's a very animated face. Yeah. Apparently, there's another Murray in this movie that I wasn't aware of, and I'm trying to find out who this is. If he's related or not. Because I don't know if he is.
You notice when he's with her, they calm his hair down, and it's almost normal, right? It's like this is as controlled and normal as he can be. This is his Gordon Gekko.
That's not the same person. Get the fuck out of here.
What?
I got to go to IMDb and look at something real quick. It is the same. That's John Murray in this photo. And it doesn't look like him at all.
Is it someone named Murray or another member of the same Murray family we're talking about? Because it's a pretty common name. Like I have a cousin named
John's
John
brother. I mean, it's John, his brother. But I'm in trouble believing that's him.
The members of the Murray family transformed greatly over the decades. Like Brian Doyle Murray wasn't that funny looking either back then.
Yeah, but he's never looked different. He always looks the same to me. Oh, here's the guy from Total Recall. The guy that goes into his dream, or is supposed to be going into his dream to give him a pill. It's a bone. So insane. Yeah, Joel is the middle older brother. John is the baby brother. And then Bill is the next older brother. And then Brian Doyle Murray is the oldest. And I love the show. It didn't last long on Comedy Central, where it just followed them around playing golf and doing shtick. It was fun. Did you watch it?
No.
I heard someone react.
Nah.
I remember it kind of vaguely. Yeah.
If I had been aware of that show, I would have watched it because Bill Murray's insane and hilarious.
It was
Wake
on
up
late
like
at
9
night.
o'clock and start drinking.
Now, I don't know if it's going to be on his regular resume. Here, I'm looking to see because they were playing themselves. So I might need to look under self. There we go. Yeah, Brothers Keeper. Yep, that was it. And it was all the Murray brothers. And it had Woody Harrelson's brother in it, Brett.
He is not happy.
I am such a Bill Murray fan. I really am.
Yeah.
There's a couple of points in this movie where it has a little bit of overlap with Groundhog's Day.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I consider them connected films.
They
in the same universe.
Connected.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the same stuff going on as far as
redemption,
the theme of
personal
the movie.
redemption, trying to become a better person because he's going through the same process. But instead of ghosts, he keeps waking up every day until he gets it right.
Right, and what in the original Christmas Carol, he just like lives through one like 3-day long Christmas or something.
It's basically
Right.
because
He has a
it
3-day
feels
long
like
night.
it's forever. He feels like it's been going on for forever, and in the end, when he wakes up, he is actually shocked that they got it all done in one night. And they show it in every
because
film.
they tell him it's going to
But
take
he
3
really
nights.
was shocked in the book that it took place in one night because for him it felt like days had gone by.
Is the reason that change was made in the story because the author simply finished early the serialization? Because that came out little by little in London newspapers in the 19th
Yeah.
century, right?
Well,
So
he
was
wrote
he
it
just
in short
like
stories,
his check
but-
didn't clear? He's like, I'm gonna just bring this one right to an end.
Well, he eventually took it as a one-man show, and he would go on stage and do his personal reading of playing all the characters. And Patrick Stewart, amazingly,
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah,
because I
felt
have
that
that,
one
and
coming.
I listen to it every year since it
He's
came
good.
out.
Yeah,
And
he's a good
his
actor.
version of it is exactly the way Dickens did it on stage. And I love that he did that. That he followed up and did the sound effects with his mouth, the wind, the creaking sounds, and the voices. I fucking love that.
Listen, like I've seen Patrick Stewart's Twitter, I've seen his interviews, I've seen how he thinks about Star Trek fans, and Gene Roddenberry, and I'm prepared to say right now that to be able to enjoy his work, that guy's got to be a good actor because he's an insufferable human being.
Oh, he's an insufferable twat. He really is.
I absolutely would never want to meet him. He is the opposite of William Shatner.
Which is so funny because the two of them get along so well.
Oh,
Yeah, that is weird. And I still wonder if he's not really Will Wheaton's dad.
Yeah.
That would explain a lot.
Explains everything, right? It's like
My
Roddenberry's like, I put a
kryptonite,
bit
Will
of real life irony in. Put a bit of real life irony in here. I found out Patrick Stewart has a bastard son. I put him in the movie. I've also put him in the show. And if Stewart gives me a hard time, I'll fire them both.
Yep. Though, like, he was actually one of the things that helped convince me that Elia Kazan was a very noble person in the end.
Elia Kazan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Elia was a very good man. By the way, there's Michael J. Pollard. I'm sorry. Great actor. He was in Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's no blah 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 kid from Miri.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he's in a lot of other stuff. That guy's in a lot of
Oh, he's a
movies.
prolific character actor.
Yeah.
He played, wasn't it Babyface Nelson in or Pretty Boy Floyd? No, it's Babyface Nelson that he played in the Oscar-winning movie with
Oh brother, where
Beatty.
art thou?
No, in
No,
Warren
Bonnie and
Beatty,
Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Wes Cagle. It's funny you should say that. For a moment, I forgot we were watching Scrooged and thought we were watching Groundhog Day. I thought to myself, I don't remember Karen Allen being in Groundhog Day. There are so many similarities between the movies. And it's not just Bill Murray. There are thematically so many similarities between the stories. The love interest, all of that shit. Him being a
Time
curmudgeon
travel
asshole.
in a way.
Yeah, there's just so much similarities between those two films. And I'm a fan of both movies. And what sucks is that because of the failure of his marriage, Bill Murray's marriage, he ended up becoming a complete fucking asshole during the making of that film. and it ended up costing him his friendship with
Harold
Ramis. And even though they did make up before he died, and in fact he went to see him and spent time with him before he died.
Good.
It really sucked because they lost over a decade from that stupidity. Because Bill Murray was being a complete twat during the shooting of the film.
And Murray's wife.
And Ramis absolutely was in the right for calling him out for what he was doing.
Yeah, but I mean, she knew who she was marrying. She had to go divorce him and mess up his work. You know, I mean, she knew what she was getting into. Just deal with it. You're Mrs. Bill Murray.
Oh, I love the scene.
Unfortunately, that's not what happens.
He seems like he'd be a lot of fun and very easy to live with. I don't understand what her problem is.
No, I understand that he's very difficult to be around.
That's so
but
hard.
What's so amazing about him is his cameos in the real world are the thing that make him so wonderful. Because like he did that to that one guy, walked up, stole French fries at a McDonald's, walked up to the guy, took some fries off his tray, ate them. He goes, "Nobody will ever believe you." Just walked away from him.
Supposedly, he randomly shows up at parties.
Yes, it's not supposedly. He really does do that shit.
Bill Murray owns, or at one point did co-own a minor league baseball team called the Charleston River Dogs.
I'm not surprised.
So
he's a big baseball fan.
Yeah, you can sometimes spot him in Charleston, South Carolina, and I've heard stories through the years of people who've run into him. He just shows up random places. He crashed a wedding one time, you know. And
now Carol Kane here, Anima doesn't like Carol Kane here, but she doesn't know
not
who
as good
Carol
as her
Kane
work
is.
in Strange New
Carol
Worlds.
Kane is
Think of her as a Star Trek actress, Anima.
Okay, I was about to explain something. So Carol Kane had a huge fan base in the United States by the time she was in this movie. She was one of the co-stars from Taxi. She had a great run as an actress in film. She was actually in one of the first big slasher movies ever made. What was that babysitter movie she did?
Black Christmas?
No, Babysitter. Jesus fucking Christ. She was in Black Christmas, but I'm talking about the slasher film with the babysitter. He knows you're home, or he knows you're alone.
He knows you're alone or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. She had a great career. She was very loved because of Taxi, because she plays Lotka's wife, Simka, on Taxi. And she's got that voice that just, you know, she was afraid she wouldn't have much of a career because of her voice. But she had a hell of a career with that voice.
The voice is one thing, but
the voice in her again, you're coming at this not knowing who she is, and they wanted her to be that character she plays so well.
And that
one
is
of the
the
biggest
problem
things,
I'm
the movie that
having.
made her career was oh my God, Young Frankenstein. He played Dr. Frankenstein.
You're talking about Gene
Willy
Wilder.
Wonka. Yeah, Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
He played the world's greatest lover, and she was his love interest in the film. And that movie made her career. That's what broke her through the wall, and she became a star because of it. But that's what it is with her. She's a quirky actress, and so they wanted that quirkiness for this role. So basically what you hear is, we want someone like Carol Kane. Well, get Carol Kane then. If you want someone like Carol Kane, then get Carol Kane. So Carol Kane is just playing a variation of the character she always plays. And it's funny because of the fact that she is violent. She's so cute and adorable, and she's fucking violent.
And that's what made me so uncomfortable watching it, that she just keeps smacking him. And I'm like, oh God, stop. There's another way to change.
Well, that's how they
the scene.
transfer from one place to the other.
Yes.
They establish
yes,
that it's through her hitting him that we go to the next location.
And it just made me uncomfortable physically. I was like, oh my God, just stop it, please. And he's
She
always
is
so
so good in
confused.
this.
Like, what's happening? Why is she hurting me all the time?
Oh, Terry Garr was great as the German girl in Young Frankenstein. She was great in that. I'm so sorry we lost her. She had multiple sclerosis.
Wait, Terry Gar. Wait, really?
Yeah. She had made up a story about being hit by a car, causing her to have that limp, but in reality, she suffered from MS. A version of MS.
Terry Gar, 79 years old.
Oh, she didn't die? I thought she died.
No, she's still alive.
No. Cloris Leachman's dead.
I know. I miss her. She was great.
She made it to like 93, though.
Wow, she is still alive. I thought we'd lost her.
She's not super well. She is ill, I think, with what
she
you
has.
said.
Yeah, she has a version of MS,
Yeah.
that just has fucked her up. She had this pronounced limp that lifted her body when she walked, and she had to wear a brace on her leg. And for years, she said that she had, because she was a regular on David Letterman, and talked about how she had been hit by a car. But in reality, that's not what happened. It was multiple sclerosis. There he is. There's John. And Nina Van Horn from Just Shoot Me. She's also John Goodman's wife in the Disney animated film with David. What is that movie called?
Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove.
It's Wendy
That's her right there.
It's a fun one. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Malick
It was originally
Dream On.
supposed to be a version of Prince and the Pauper.
Mm-hmm.
And Sting's music denotes that because it was originally supposed to be a musical. All the music that Sting wrote was for the movie. But then somewhere during the filming of it, people got fired and they revamped it, changed it, and it became what we got. So I thought that was interesting that they went that way. And I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I like Kronk. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Isma, are you really going to do that?
Yeah, the
like
poison that killed Cusco.
The poison that killed Cusco.
Cusco's poison.
Yeah. Yes, Cusco's poison. Yeah.
He starts arguing with the squirrel.
Fucking love that movie, dude. But they ended up keeping 2 of the songs from Sting in the movie. But that's her. She best known for playing Nina Van Horn on Just Shoot Me, which is a great show.
She was on an HBO show for a long time too. She was on Dream On.
Oh my god, I love that fucking show. That is me. Like I actually have that. I have that thing where I look at people and they'll say something to me, and I have a moment of a film or TV show pop into my head as a response. So when I saw that show, I'm like, oh my god, they got into my head and stole my thoughts. By the way, the guy over on the right there, the far right, is I forget his name, but he's one of the producers of the movie. I'll find out real quick. Scrooged cast. Let's see.
Looks
I'll find
like one
it
of
here.
the people confronting George Lucas at that party after Phantom Menace.
There it is. Mitch Glazer is one of the producers of the film. And he got to play one of the guests at the party. And by the way, that's Joel Murray that was on the left, the fat guy. Oh my God, look at her. Just look at him.
She's waiting.
Crazy eyes.
Oh my God, she's so crazy in this. There's the toaster. Bitch hit me with the toaster. I love that line. There were T-shirts that came out in the 80s, if you guys remember that. It said, "Bitch hit me with a toaster." I wanted one so bad.
Her dialogue is like super extra nice, right? Isn't she like overly nice in her dialogue? And then all of a sudden she just haul off and punch him.
Just violent. It's funny. What is this extra trivia? The USS Minnow was named after a TV critic who said TV was a vast wasteland. His name was Minnow.
Nice.
He may have been correct, but still, I mean, we got the minnow out of it.
Oh, you've always had those people that are too cool for TV.
Well, if it was Disney Plus, I'd agree.
Yeah, wow.
There he is, Michael J. Pollard. And that is what we refer to as a fixed point in time. Michael J. Pollard's character, there was no saving him. His character was doomed, which is why at the end of the film, we get the Star Wars ending with him as a ghost.
He's a Force ghost.
Now clear this up for me, Gary. What is the time frame between the time he last sees him at the shelter to this? How did that happen so quickly?
It was an overnight thing. He froze. He got cold. He froze overnight.
I think
This is supposed to be Christmas morning.
I think time is like slowed down. We're in a pocket. Like this is much like
No,
Groundhog
absolutely.
Day.
He is
It's
in a
staying
pocket
around
universe.
10:30 for the whole. It's staying somewhere between 10:30 and midnight for the whole movie. It just takes 6 hours to cover it in his time.
Okay.
And you got to
Like, this
remember
night is
that he
inordinately
can't
long.
interact with anything that he sees because he's in little pockets. He is not part of that time. He's viewing that time. Like through a mirror.
Yeah, that's right. He's walking around on spectator mode.
They cannot hear him. He can't touch anything. I remember getting so sad in this scene. I cried seeing Michael J. Pollard already dead, and it just was like, oh. Yeah. And there she is. She's just all fucked up. She fucking hurt. This is such a great movie. It really is. Yeah, the guy's name was Minnow. Okay, Sherwood Schwartz immortalized him. That's great.
Was the director the high school principal from Breakfast Club? The floor director that we saw? I think it was.
I wouldn't be surprised. When you get up in the booth, you'll see first cousin to the director. And he's been in every film that that director has made. I love the death thing. Hey, that might work with the chicks.
It's a Halloween costume.
But when he actually runs into death later in the elevator, when Bobcat's trying to kill him with shotgun, he muscles in on him, gets all close to him, and he goes, "Hey, that might work with the chick. Don't pull that shit on me." I'm trying to find him because I always forget his name. Steve Cahan.
Oh yeah,
plays the guy in charge of the booth, and
Murphy from Lethal Weapon. Yeah,
he played the captain, and he was also one of the detectives that was chasing what's his name, Ned Beatty, around New York into the subway and gets killed.
Yeah,
in Superman the movie. And he is first cousin to the film's director. You can actually see it, that they look related when you see the two of them together. They're clearly and obviously family.
So if I remember right, this and a couple other movies, like what Rich Spielberg and Dick Donner would do after they finished movies, they just spend a week in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like around the time it came out.
Just go decompress.
Yep.
I love that.
Something tells me it's a real picture of them.
No, it's the kids that were playing them in the movie.
Okay. The most inappropriate Scrooge of all time.
Buddy Hackett.
Yeah, Buddy
They
Hackett
could have made
blue. People think that he's so clean cut that saw him on TV. I'm like, no, I've seen his comedy. He's as blue as you get. That guy is dirty. He told one of the funniest dirty jokes I ever heard, where I'm going to pause this just to tell this joke. He's like, he says, this guy goes to the doctor and he says, something's wrong with my dick, doc. And he says, well, let's see it. He pulls it out and it's all fucking gnarled and like just in misshapen and swollen in places. And he's like, oh my God. He says, it really hurts when I pee, doc. He says, well, I don't know what to do. I guess take these pills and come back and see me in a week and see if it's any better. And a week goes by and comes back and he goes, it's a miracle, doc. My dick's back to normal. He goes, the pills worked? He goes, no, I was in the bathroom and I was peeing. And the guy next to me was peeing. And when he was done, he did this thing where he shook his dick off at the end. He goes, well, yeah, everybody does it. What were you doing? He goes, I was wringing it out.
That makes me uncomfortable, and I don't even have a dick.
Anima, hurt him when you see him. Just remember
I'm
that.
just repeating a joke by Buddy Hackett. Fuck you.
Comic legend,
Stop
beloved
telling me
comic
to hurt
legend.
my boyfriend.
By the way, if you look in this frame very carefully, you'll see something you can't get anymore, a tab.
I know. Tab stopped in 2016. Coca-Cola
isn't that shocking?
produced it, and they said we've got Coke Zero and we've got Diet Coke. They just stopped making Tab. Also because of all the negativity over saccharin, because saccharin is what was used in Tab. Hey, Zachro 315 is here. War Monkey is here too. Shit, he slipped in. I hate it when a War Monkey slips in without me knowing.
He's been here for a while, Gary.
War Monkey's been here.
I didn't see him. Well, I've been busy looking up shit. Fuck you guys. Merry Christmas. Fuck you guys. Merry Christmas.
It's not even Christmas for you yet. It's Christmas here in half an hour. But for you, it's not for another day.
Santa Claus is coming.
But you're on the other side of the planet where they do everything backwards, right? Like
Not
water
everywhere.
goes down the toilet backwards. No.
Oh my God! Here we go again.
There it is. It's supposed to be in a studio. It's like it's like crowding him in the elevator. And he looks underneath and sees the faces. Our people did that.
We're going to get phone calls.
I love the video screen base. And this is where, Anima doesn't agree with me, but I always felt that with all the things that happened with each one of the ghosts, they rushed through this scene with Deb. And thank you, Martin. It's like, because they took their time with the other ghosts, and all of a sudden this goes really fast. And it kind of bothered me because I felt that the emotional impact of the story is the transitional scene when he changes, when he realizes, I want something better than this. I don't want that to be me. I don't want that to be what happens. And I love that. And it's one of my favorite parts of Scrooge, every version of the Christmas Carol. And they just sort of rush through it here. They should have had him in the scene where you could see the two of them, where they're never share the screen here, him and the kid. And I felt like he should have made a promise to him here. Something was needed here that we don't get. And instead they just have him run away. We don't even see them in the background. It's just the window. But I do love the way they did the ghost and the way they made her look so creepy looking. How do you take someone so pretty as her and make her look creepy? I don't know. They made her look creepy here.
I love how in the future everything is either black or white because nothing has been decided yet. So all you see is extremes.
Also, it's in fog.
Wow,
you see it through a foggy lens. Everything is, because it's a haze. It is. They always say that he's the ghost of Christmas future. No, that is not what he is. He is
Christmas
the
yet
ghost
to come.
of Christmas yet to come.
Yeah.
And these are images that might not happen, but it's a warning.
That's when he finally realizes this is on me. I can change things. I have to change myself.
Making Karen Allen evil is something that bothered him too much to stay the way he was.
Yeah.
He was enjoying
see
being
her
a terrible
broken.
person.
Yeah.
He was enjoying being a terrible person.
Well, she quotes him
to a high
too.
degree.
She quotes him.
She quotes
Says,
him. Yeah.
you got to scrape him off. You got to scrape him off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, that has to hurt him. Hearing
Yeah,
her
that's,
say
New
that.
York.
I think that's when it clicks and he's like, holy shit, I'm a shithead. I
There
need to
she
do
is
something.
again.
That's the
She's
final
gorgeous,
straw.
by the way. The actress that plays her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so
what is her name?
pretty.
Wendy Malick.
I mean, she's kind of the original Harley Quinn in that earlier scene.
Yeah, Wendy. It is Wendy Malick. She's such a gorgeous lady. She was so funny on Just Shoot Me as Nina Visitor, this washed up model. Always worried about her looks.
Look who's here.
And in Dream
Gravitino.
On, she's
Hey, Che, what's up, man?
hello.
The only Che I like.
And in Dream On, she's like super young, so check out those episodes if you want to see her, like when she was really just in her prime.
Oh yeah, she's
gorgeous.
like
she's hilarious. She had really good comic skills. The way she would freak out and she always had pearls, and she was always clutching them, like literally. Whenever like what was it, Martin Tupper was that the character's name, would do something cringy, she'd just be like, "Now, calm down. You're tripping out and thinking about TV again." That same Ronald Reagan movie.
Yep, and this is a great line. Want to save someone, save yourself. Thanks, Lumpy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a scene where he's so glad to be alive. Hey, is that a shotgun, or are you just happy to see me? Like what?
Oh
he gives him Zerberts. He gives him Zerberts, so he opens his shirt and blows into his belly button. Yeah, and all of a sudden, Bobcat Goldthwait, who had a shotgun, is like, "Don't hurt me." I so thoroughly enjoy this movie so much.
If he hadn't been so horrible to Bobcat Goldthwait earlier, he doesn't snap and do this. So it's kind of like a fait accompli or a closed loop or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
His own temporal nexus.
It's me, but it's not me. Oh, man. And the other thing, if you notice now, his hair's frizzed out like it was when he was younger. Did you catch that?
He's been through crazy shit. Of course it is.
No, that has nothing to do with it. That's on purpose. It's a visual motif to let you know that he's no longer the modern version of the character Cross. He is now like his younger self.
That poor woman.
Yeah.
When he has the Gordon Gekko hair, he's at his worst.
She
when
gets
he's got
the
his
kiss.
crazy hair.
She gets to kiss the executive, him.
Yeah.
I love that because he can't get away from her. He's tied up in the chair. But again, I don't know if you caught him here, Martin, when you made this, but the posters are in the background in the oh god, I love it when he loses shit. All those goddamn cats.
Hey.
You were like wondering why is he so focused on cats, and oh, he lives with cats. He's got a lot of cats. What are you doing watching TV on Christmas Eve? And what kind of rat bastard would have everybody working on Christmas? I love that. He just starts just shitting on himself.
I also love that Robert Mitchum has a bud brought to him on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Freaking can of Budweiser.
I almost had a guy staple antlers on a mouse, and the guy goes, "Yeah, he really did try to get me to do it." I'm like, "Oh my god, that was a good callback." Yeah, I was like so many people got emotional watching this. The USS Minnow. He tells him the answer to the question is USS Minnow. Right here.
Maybe that's why they don't dwell too long on Yet to Come, because he makes a really quick turn into like a manic happy ending to this movie that was kind of like Downersville but funny.
Still pointing a fucking shotgun at him.
I never felt that way about a man before.
No, he drops the fake baby. That was funny. And he kisses one of the solid gold dancers.
Yeah.
It's a law. It's a federal law. What?
What are they called again, the dancers? Because that name
solid gold dancers. Solid gold.
In the movie, they're called the Santa
movie, they had
X.
a name. Yeah.
But they are
thank
the
you.
solid gold dancers from the show Solid
Right.
Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
part
but I
of the
meant the movie
joke.
name because that was fun.
Yeah, here it is. She's sitting there all like, come hither, that leg up, grabs him, and he's like, it's not just a state thing, it's a federal law. I have to kiss her. And then she's like inspired, and she goes over and kisses Glover. And at first he's like, no. But then later you hear him, he's like,
They are into each other.
It's another moment, kind of right out of Gremlins 2, when Robert Picardo gets stuck in the
right in the bathroom. And I brought that
and he
up.
just kind of accepts his fate.
I brought that up the other night when we did Gremlins. That I said that technically Gremlins are asexual. There's only one. There's no gender. They produce without sex. Okay, so clearly there's no such thing as a female gremlin. But I thought that made it even funnier that he's kissing this generic creature that has no gender.
I think that's the debut of the bat symbol, the new one, because when that one gremlin blasts through the wall, it leaves that silhouette of the Batman 89 symbol. I think that's pre-publicity for that movie. I don't think that movie came out yet.
Oh, we have another breach.
Okay, hold on. I'll pause it. No one in security checked to make sure no one barged through the studio back door. Okay. All right, give him his video.
Yeah, they had terrible security.
Hey, let me
and I do
something. Oh, this one is a favorite of this channel. Here we go.
You pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, English, giant, twerp, scumbag, fuckface, dickhead, asshole.
I just recited the lines with him. Anima so enjoyed watching that movie and seeing where that came from. And it's like one of my favorite moments.
I always love it when we watch a movie and then I recognize one of our clips and I'm like, oh, that's where that came from. I love it.
Was it A Fish Called Wanda or A Fierce Creatures that one's from?
Fish Called Wanda.
Wanda.
Okay. They're both. He plays the same kind of sociopath in both.
Yeah, he plays both characters. He plays his father and the son.
Which is, he plays his father hilariously. I love that movie.
The Aussie accent, I know.
Funny.
Crikey, mate.
Gremlins 2 in 1990. Oh, so it followed the Batman 89 movie? I'm going to say it's very possible that the Gremlins movie either got slowed down or they threw that in there because I think it's the same people. It's a Warner Brothers movie. And I know they wanted to blow up the Gremlins idea to get away from the guy who kept making the Home Alone movies because it was a little too close. And
Chris
then
Columbus.
Gremlins 3.
Is it Chris Columbus? Yeah.
They wanted to get away from him. They didn't want to pay. They had to give him so much money to do it. So Gremlins 3 is to blow up Gremlins. I'm sorry, Gremlins 2 is to blow up the Gremlins idea. And the movie that's considered Gremlins 3 by most people is Small Soldiers.
I love Small Soldiers.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones. Great flick.
They did actually use Gremlins again in that, was it Max Landis written movie with, was it Chloe Maurice Grace? I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but there's supposed to be a gremlin in that one.
Oh, that fucking Shadows in the Cloud movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing sucked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a path to a sequel. There's 2 gremlins loose in New York somewhere. We know that survived the movie.
Yeah, because look, you've got 2. Landis is just not very good, in my opinion. I don't like his work. Shadow in the Cloud is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That movie was so bad. I couldn't get past the first 20 minutes and stop watching it because the stupidity of her character. And the premise was just dumb. How she ended up on that plane. It was just dumb. Yeah, I hated that movie.
There was nobody to care for in that whole thing. I just wanted them all to die.
And what did I say? This is what my writing teacher, who is a screenwriter and taught in Hollywood, UCLA, he said, look, man, it takes no effort or work to create characters nobody cares about. That's just lazy writing. It takes a lot of work to create characters that the audience cares about. And if you're a good writer, you want to create characters that make your audience want to watch. And Max Landis doesn't know how to do that. He's an asshole. Dude, I've heard some of the shit he says. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. No, one writer I really like is Aaron Nehas, who did a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And his whole approach is always characters first. Like, even has a little note board written about what are false gods when creating characters.
I just read what Che said. Not a small soldier. I'm 5'5". You're 1 inch shorter than my oldest son. My oldest boy, Benjamin, is who's been on our show. I love him. He's just brilliant, but he's only 5'6". He is exactly in height between me and his mother. Exactly, right in the middle. And by the way, when we saw this in the theater, there were 3 rows, and we were following his instructions. And in the theater, it was really funny. People were actually like doing what he was saying to do.
I love these kinds of credits where it's going on, but
they wait till the end of the movie. But he kind of, I guess, there's like a third and a half wall that he's kind of breaking when he has those monologues to himself, breakdowns where he's kind of screaming in frustration. But then finally they go all out and he just looks right into the camera at the end there. But I guess it was time. Like they didn't do it in the first 5 minutes.
It was fine to break the wall. It was fine. We get another mid-credit scene, but it's no dialogue. It's just him with the name Scrooged written below him. And he looks down, sees the name, and he wipes it off. It's funny the way he did it. It's done, with visual effects, but it's still fucking cool.
They have a really good one of those in Crank. If you haven't seen, like he's actually reading the subtitles on the screen at one point.
Oh, Crank.
Yeah, the Jason Statham movie. Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I don't remember that.
What is the question?
It's not a question. I don't remember that. I'm going to have to watch it again. I don't remember that. Crank, the movie with Jason Statham. He actually reads
fucking love those
dialogue from the screen. He's reading the subtitles.
I think Deadpool does it too in the first movie.
But Deadpool's a meta character. He's aware of the fact that he's in a movie. He's a fictional character.
I'm a little worried about Deadpool 3 personally.
I don't know if I am or not. I will watch it. I'm not too interested in anything else. Disney has hurt their own brand. But I'm going to tell you again, damn it. Anima and I watched episode 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. It's fucking good.
Yeah, that felt
good writing, good acting, good visual effects, everything. Nothing. I didn't see anything woke in it. Yes,
the effects are really good.
They did race swap a few characters, but to be honest with you, I'm fine with that. These are just characters from a book.
It's not a really beloved book.
They're not designed beloved characters that like Superman or something like that, Batman. You don't do that with them. But because you got to respect the original creation, but there's never a mention of the race of other than being Olympians and or being demigods. I liked what they did. I was very pleased with that pilot episode. I'm ready to watch episode 2. We got 2 available right now, and I was hoping that Anna and I could watch that second one because it was really freaking good. And the kid playing Percy, I think he does a better job than the kid did in the movies. I think the pilot is better than both movies.
Good.
I've only seen the first movie, but yeah, I'm more impressed with the show so far.
I think my favorite moment is when that female, I can't think of her name right now. She's so good. She was in, was it Darman Gregg? No. She played in Parks and Rec, the guy who didn't want to waste government money or taxpayers' money. Swanson, his ex-wife, the crazy one. Anybody remember that show?
I remember he was married to Lucy Lawless at one point.
It's the ex that he hates.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to remember.
I'll find it real quick. Because she's very funny. She's a great singer. She does a lot of Broadway. I'm looking for her. My God. So many good people have been on that show. Fuck, man. I did not know this. But J.K. Simmons was on Parks and Rec.
They had, was it Werner Herzog, too?
Dax Shepard. but I can't find her. Where the fuck is she? She's not listed in here anywhere. That's weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna look up Swanson X. Is it Patricia Clarkson? Is that who I'm thinking of? That might be who I'm thinking of.
She's in the one from The Last Dirty Harry.
Oh
movie?
no, she's gorgeous. No, I like her. She was a good ex. What was the show about? Dharma and Greg, right? Where
Megan Mullally,
the TV show where the gay guy lives with the redhead.
Will and Grace.
That was
Will and Grace.
Will and Grace.
Yeah,
That's the one she was in.
Megan Mullally.
I don't know. I'll find out in a second. Yep, Megan Mullally. Who
Nick
played
Offerman's wife.
Swanson's ex on the show, the crazy one, and she's really married
She's
to
his
him. I
real
guess.
life wife. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and he
crazy.
really does all that crazy woodwork that he sells. He's funny though. I like him.
Oh, I like Nick Offerman. But Megan Mullally, I don't even remember why I had to remember her. Do you guys remember why I was trying to find out who she was? I can't
Went
remember.
back to Offerman.
You were saying something about Parks and Rec, and my brain stacked out.
You were bringing her up as an actress, like you're going to bring up something else that she was in or something like
Yeah,
that.
I know. No, it doesn't matter. I forgot.
Yeah. But no. Yeah.
Didn't they try to do Will and Grace again like 2 years ago, and it's just like people have had no interest?
It was political. It was
Yeah.
very political why they did it.
Yeah, they
And-
did that again.
Sex in the City, they made super political and they brought it back.
See,
Yeah,
they
it's
had
just
an easy
when they do
path
that,
to
it's going to
Sex and the
fail.
City.
It's like I remember when Apple announced that they were canceling John's show earlier this year, and it's like the conversation went like this. I wrote it out as like this is how the conversation went. Yeah, it's too bad the show didn't work. It was too political. And John says, "That's why you hired me."
Yeah. But
They
he didn't
thought
have
that
the
maybe
right
he would go on long. Yeah. Well, are we talking Jon Stewart?
Yeah, Jon
Yeah.
Stewart.
When he went on
I-
Colbert and was talking about the certain virus, which we're not allowed
Yeah,
to talk
we
about.
can't say on YouTube. They'll punish us for it. But yeah, he went on there and Colbert tried to stop him and he couldn't stop him. And John was right. And look, I like Jon Stewart. I really do. I don't agree with him 90% of the time, but I've always enjoyed him.
Might be
But,
one of the last remaining people in the center who, or at least tries.
Yeah, he tried to be.
Yeah.
Seems to try. He seems
Yeah,
to try.
but he's like the Michael Jordan of political commentary. He didn't mean to ruin things, but by his actions, it ruined everything else.
But he went more
You know what
political with this new show on Apple, and it didn't go over because look, you're
I think he
pandering
had
to
TDS.
a percentage of an audience. You're not trying to get an audience. You're trying to pander to a specific group within an audience, and they're the only ones that are going to watch. And guess what? You're not going to get the numbers you want when you do that.
I think for 4 straight years, Jon Stewart heard from people who didn't like Trump that it was his fault Trump won because it was a narrow victory. And Jon Stewart might have been able to sway that because he was so popular on TV that he was able to change kind of the course of like first of all, he destroyed that horrible adversarial CNN show where all they did was argue, right? He went on there and exposed them all as idiots. And that was the end of that. And he was kind of doing a good job with all different important causes. And I think that like people who had a certain opinion of a certain politician blamed him for that person getting elected. They're like, if you'd stuck around one more year, you could have changed that. And I think he's wondered about whether or not that's true. I don't think anyone or anything would have changed it, but I think that people like convinced him that he had that level of like influence. He had some, but I don't think he had that level.
He had it when he was on the Daily Show, and as soon as he left, and more importantly, he left for several years doing nothing. So he was hot,
Right.
but then he was in nothing, and then he just
But
kind of
he-
faded away.
He leaves in 2015. He never lays a glove on a certain politician from Queens that people have a controversial view on. And a lot of people, I think, gave Jon Stewart a hard time for that person succeeding because he wasn't there to whatever put his perspective in.
Yeah,
on it.
because
And
Trevor
who knows
Noah,
how he would've felt.
he tried to,
He wasn't funny.
fit into shoes he couldn't wear. He's not funny.
He's not from the
And
United
he's a
States.
terrible
so he can't
interviewer.
really criticize us.
He's a
You know,
terrible
he
interviewer,
wasn't
and he's racist.
He is.
No, he's
He might have been.
as your boy Zach likes to say, he was a purse puppy. He's the
He's what?
harmless a purse puppy.
Oh.
He's the harmless black accessory.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that they got
imaginary
him.
black friend. You're like, I'm okay. I watch Trevor Noah.
Yeah. It literally is that scene from Get Out where it's like, I wish I could have voted for Obama for a third term. See, I like black people.
What's this? Jennifer Garner Netflix film Family Switch gets blasted for its disgusting racism.
Yeah.
Really?
Is it pretty bad?
Poor Jennifer. She didn't write it. She can't catch a break, huh?
No. The really racist film coming out is that Black Harry Potter movie. I won't say its name here because I fear of
The
reprisal.
Black Batman sounds pretty
I'm
racist.
wondering if it's trolling or if it means it. If it means it, shame on him.
Yeah. I could see it as like a satire, but I don't think Hollywood's currently that clever.
They can't do
No.
satire.
They don't know how to do it anymore. They don't.
And really, they never had that Key and Peele
So
sketch.
Trevor Noah doesn't have magical powers. No, I don't think he does. But I do think that he's got sparkly stardust that comes out his butt.
Yeah.
When he farts.
But see, there's always this weird thing I've noticed, and this happened in comics too, where they go, only black people have superpowers and they're persecuted for it. But they fail one very simple logical thing. If black people had superpowers, what would they need to fear from whites? They would have the power.
The real oppressor of black people in the comic book universe is Wakanda, where they built a wall to keep everyone else out and just let colonization happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Urban Nation's in the house.
Hey, Orville Nation, what's up?
Hello, PJ.
I've been wanting to talk to you about. I don't think we're going to get another anything from Orville, the Orville. I think they're done. I think it's sad. My only complaint about it was that the third season, with all the time he had to write those scripts, they should have been better. They should have been better. But and that might be what hurt them getting another season.
But you know what? Black Panther proves. Black Panther is actually.
I'm talking about the Orville. What the fuck are you talking about with the Black Panther?
Well,
we just made a Black Panther point earlier. I guess.
Yes, my show. Fuck you guys.
Oh my goodness.
All right, really quick.
Go on.
I take the Black Panther question. How about this? I'll work backwards from the Orville. The set's coming down doesn't necessarily mean that anything bad is going to happen, because with the production backlog, it's highly possible that Seth MacFarlane made a good deal of money by striking his set, concentrating on his show that he could do with the cartoon writers like he was doing during this writer's strike for other stuff. And he advanced the Ted thing. So I think the Orville's kick.
I watched the trailer for that. It looks good.
I think it'll be good. I trust everything he does.
It'll probably be the first good thing on Peacock.
The only thing he's ever done I didn't like was I thought Ted 2 was a little bit like meandering and boring. I'm not Ted 2.
It just didn't go anywhere. Had some good moments.
And A Million Ways to Die as well as meandering.
Look, the best part of both those films, Ted 2 and A Million Ways to Die in the West, was Liam Neeson.
Yep.
Yeah, he was pretty funny. I like. PJ seems to be agreeing.
It says
too,
here
like
that tricks is for kids. If I buy that, is there going to be trouble?
I think the real problem now is the cast. Can you get Adrienne Palicki to come back for one more time? Because she's really critical. You could go on without her as long as it was on Seth's terms, but you don't really want that. That's not ideal. That's like getting rid of Spock or McCoy. We need Kelly.
I like Adrian Palicki. I hope so.
I think she's great. I think she's a great actress. I think she's great on the Orville. And if we lose the Orville, we'll have no vestige of original Star Trek left, and that would be a terrible, terrible shame. Hopefully.
Well, here's
Mr.
what's
McFarlane
happening
made
now.
a
We
good
talked about
deal.
this yesterday, Teague. I don't think there's going to be a merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers. What I think is happening is licensing. That a deal is going to be struck between Warner Discovery and Paramount, and this could be something good for Star Trek. That if Warner takes the property, everybody's fired.
They're that crazy. They would burn money like that. That's just a printing press. People want
They will
more
fire.
Orville.
They will fire Kurtzman and his crew and J.J.
Star
Abrams.
Trek. Cool.
Yeah, I just said if Warner takes it over, Paramount, if they get the licensing, if that's what's really happening here, it will be an absolute change of management.
I'm buying Warner Brothers stock right now so that I can get in on this and own part of Star Trek. We did it. Hey, what's going on, Roman of the Empire?
No, I actually am right there with you, Che, that Elon has that kind of money. I made the joke last year. I said he could buy Netflix, Amazon, as well as Twitter, and he'd still have pocket money to go buy something else or do something else with it. He could very well single-handedly transform the landscape if he wanted to. But I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think so. What we do have here is David Zaslav may very well work out a deal where Warner Brothers has the rights to Star Trek through Paramount, and that they will produce. It's the same way that we see that Bad Wolf and Sony and Disney, all three have fingers in Doctor Who, and they're all woke. So of course it's going to be crappy.
To add on to
I
that,
wasn't expecting as crappy, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that also, given that they've killed the DC Comics offices, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't just license out the DC Comics characters. Like if you give them a certain percentage or pay.
Well, that's where DC Comics made their money anyway. Because look, I'm going to give you a lesson in comics. DC Comics, as well as Marvel, but I'm just going to focus on DC right now. DC Comics hasn't been profitable since 1972, where they turned it off of sales. Yep. Where they made their profit from was through merchandise and licensing. They constantly were. That's where the revenue came from the comics, because the comics only made back the money. They broke even with the comics, and comics have always been that way. And they're going to always lose money with comics. And when they started using more expensive paper and ink, is when comics started suffering the most, because they should go back to, Keith and I talk about this ad nauseum. They need to go back to a higher level, but a newsprint kind of stuff, higher quality newsprint, and go back to coloring the same way. And it would be just fine. Kids loved it. They'll still love it. Comics, you're reading the comics for the artwork, but also for the storytelling, the high adventure. And you can get the price back down to something reasonable instead of $5 for a comic book. You know, when you look at inflation and all that stuff and add it up, the price of a comic book, if it were today, would not be $5.
It'd be like $1.25.
It'd be $1.75.
Yeah,
comic shop down on Steinway Street.
Comics should always have cost the same thing and just gone up with the cost of living, the devaluation of the dollar, and inflation and all that stuff. It should have always gone up evenly. It's sort of like when I tell people you look at film budgets today. It doesn't equate. Film budgets today are 4 times more expensive to make a film today than it cost back in time, even if you devaluated the dollar in comparison to what it was worth at the time they shot a movie in the 60s or 70s. the budget is crazy expensive to make movies today. And I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it. Unions ruin everything. They make everything crazy expensive. So
except the Planetary Union. We like the Planetary Union.
That's also 2D, man. 2D's still cheaper to do, but they moved everything to 3D and basically to price out any independents from being able to fuck with them.
yeah, the only money that was being made, Che, with toys and merchandise like model kits and shit was the stuff that was previous, like classic characters or the classic ships. I think they hurt their sales when they changed the name of Slave One. They didn't sell it.
Yeah, what is it? Does it even have a name now? It's just Boba Fett ship?
Nope.
Is it
Boba
Living
Fett's
Wage
Starship.
One?
It says Boba Fett's Starship.
I vote for Living Wage 1. That would be hilarious.
Living Wage 1.
Why not?
It's actually called the fire. It's a fire spray.
Well, that's the class.
Yeah,
That's the
is
class.
that the class? Yeah, he says to Magna in Book of Blobafat.
Yeah, no, but what he said is my fire spray gunship.
Yeah, he's talking about the model. That's the name of the
Oh
kind
well,
of ship.
Eagle Moss was destroyed by Star Trek Discovery. They had to make us. They were the only people who had to make merch. And by the way, it's still really hard to find any Star Trek Discovery merchandise or any Strange New World merchandise. There's some merchandise for Lower Decks, but the Enterprise J and the other Star Trek pizza cutter thing that they made, those broke Eagle Moss. Eagle Moss has been out of business for a couple of years. Somebody might have now picked up the name out of bankruptcy, and I think
I got to
people
tell you,
continue
Eagle
their
Moss
kits.
put out one of my favorite kits ever, and I didn't want it because I'm more of a classic Battlestar Galactica fan, but they put out one of the most detailed Galactica kits I've ever seen of the Galactica, their version, the modern version of the Galactica. Oh my God.
ship
Have you
looks
seen the
cool,
close-ups of
though.
that thing? Wow.
No, but I love that ship.
Wow.
I think it's badass.
Gentlemen, Anima and Stephen both have to leave us soon, so
yeah,
I would like to.
That's it. Show's over.
What? Was Brian just here?
That's it. Show's over.
Closing show.
Yeah, we'll get
One
out of
last
here.
Skull
Everybody have a
alcohol.
safe this weekend. And on Monday, Joe and I will be here. Don may join me. He's not making any promises, but he said that I would like to join you on Monday if we're just going to shoot the breeze and talk about Christmas in the military. And that's what we're going to talk about on Military Monday is, what's it like to be deployed and have Christmas?
Man, I hate to
Yeah, we need to play a clip. Here we go.
By what name are you known? There are some who call me Tim. Stop that! It's silly.
So we're going to get the hell out of here. I hope if you haven't already become a contributor, that you at least spread the word of Vindicated Inc. It's again below in the video description. Please do share it out, talk about it. If you go to the Vindicated page over on funcomics.com, you get to read 2 chapters of the book. Chapter 1, which is God judges his heroes by their scars, and chapter 3, a leg to stand on. And I always, every time I give a name to a chapter, it's for a damn good reason. And so I hope you enjoy those, get a chance to read them. Let me know what you think. I really do. All I know is that Pete Dixon and Mike Barron are singing praises for the book, and I deeply appreciate their thoughts. And Script Doctor, too. In fact, Script Doctor likes it so much, he is the senior editor on the project now. So that's it, guys. We're going to bugger off, have the rest of our Saturday. I think I'm going to be joining Script Doctor today if he's doing a show. He said something about having me on. I'll find out. That, and on Monday, I will be joining Midnight's Edge after our Military Monday. So everybody have a very safe Saturday and safe and quiet Sunday, and enjoy your holiday. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Bye,
Christmas.
Merry
Navidad.
Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
Sorry, John, I didn't know you were going to slip that in. Go ahead and say it. Unmute your mic and say it. John, unmute your mic and say it.
Feliz Navidad.
There you go.
We wish you all a happy new year.
Oh my God. I want to believe.
Y'all come back now.